Uh, Let me get this recording going on.
Hey everybody, this is my last daily update. Having interesting things to say is premised on my doing something other than making these stupid videos on the daily. Anybody that...
Forgiven for making this movie more than yeah.
I don't know what to leave on except to say that I will continue these weekly. So like the thing about Nomad Science, like, or the 12th Plateau that I keep running into, right, is that founders don't found co-ops. Like, crews found co-ops. Like, trying to shoot for the moon as a cooperative. Like, there's this book called Making Mondragon that is just so much of an inspiration. And, like, I've had repeated conversations with people, some of them very successful business owners, about, about Mondragon and about how there's no such thing really in the U.S. and, like, wouldn't it be interesting to make one. I applied to an Emergent Ventures grant, and I've gotten rejected twice already, so this would be the third time if, it's not a charm, but hopefully it is. It's funny that I would reach out to somebody like Tyler Cowen and be expressly distributist in orientation. There's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. We're like living in this age of the most heightened techno-monopolism possible. And not everybody's in the system. Like, I, as a once and future software engineer, was in the ivory tower and decided I didn't like it. And as soon as I got outside of the ivory tower, I was, with the people that aren't inside of it, and that are struggling because most of the world has been eaten by it. It's ridiculous how much effort, how much work goes into building software on the presumption that it's, like, higher up in the value chain, right? Signing off, I mean, like, this is a forever project for me. Like, I'm never really sure which aspect of it to talk about. But if you look at the book Making Mondragon, Mondragon started as a school. It was intended to sort of teach cooperative practices and a cooperative ethos, and then it went from there. What I'm very interested in doing here, and I've called this a cybernetics guild before, for the express reason that cybernetics is associated with radical constructivism, and I'm confident that it's nothing unless it's a very high quality experience. So I haven't said anything on this channel yet about alternate reality gaming, and part of that has to do with, what am I even talking about? Like, I will explain something as simple as an adult Montessori STEAM school and get blank stares. And then another thing that's kind of funny is that, like, I'm such an atelic person, I think inherently, like, if I don't feel like doing these videos, like, I wouldn't be doing them. And and friends of mine, some of you who might be watching this, right now, will sort of be like, well, like, why, like, your viewers are too low, like, you gotta get those up, or, like, all this kind of other stuff, or, like, who's your target audience, you gotta figure out your niche down, and stuff like that, and, like, but in terms of the videos that I actually find interesting, I mean, like, I'm talking, like, maybe 2,000 views, like, maybe 10,000 on the upper side, but, like, the million stuff, like, the 500,000 views, it's just, like, the thing about me is that I don't actually inhabit that land, right? Like, I would be happy with getting a couple thousand views on a video. So I'm not really sure, but I suspect that it's not something where you hear about the concept for the first time and then decide you want to join a heist crew, for this crazy distributist cybernetics guild project. You might be a Montessori teacher, or somebody who works in adult Montessori, or somebody who comes from the makerspace culture, or early 90s, digital culture, somebody that still carries the torch of, the early kind of utopianism, and want to bring it to fruition. A heist crew, premised on the concept from Deleuze and Guattari of Nomad Science, as developed by Andrew Pickering and the idea of ontological theater. And I think it's really important now with the rise of AI, because the way that the old world was structured is just, it's so laughably bad. I mean, there's much to be said for breaking free of, we'll say, the black iron prison, right, or catching a glimpse of the palm tree garden, to use, Phil Dickian terms, and then to look back at the black iron prison and be like, oh my god, like, that's ridiculous. The last thing I'll say is a shout out to Nomad Science Sacramento. I've seen a number of you in the Pomodoro meetings on Tuesdays. If you're watching this, it's probably because I sent a newsletter out and linked it explicitly, and then you happen to click on it and now you're watching it. So I am a living person in town that you can basically reach out to and talk to. That's kind of something that I think is pretty critical to me about all of this. Okay, so that's again me signing off. Hopefully this video was slightly less badly lit and ugly than the last two that I used this camera for.
But that's all I have to say today. Until next week, at the earliest.